This video is going to be a review of Daikin's Ducted series in Australia. Specifically, it's going to help with anyone who's interested in getting a Daikin ducted system using Victorian government rebates, but even if you're not, it'll still be very applicable to you. So in this video, we're going to go over the energy efficiencies of the units, what energy efficiency and ACOP actually mean. We're going to present the model numbers that are actually eligible for the rebate, because not every model number is eligible. We're going to talk about the price of the systems, the rebate amounts, what you can expect for install costs, the noise levels of systems, the benefits of all the different types of systems. Daikin has 3 separate types of systems, and they're available over in the roof cavity, and they're also available underfloor. So they've got a premium inverter, they've got a standard inverter, and they've also got a slimline inverter system. So they've got 3. All 3 are available in the ceiling, 2 are available underfloor, the premium and the standard. We'll also go over whether you should go underfloor and if you should consider getting that done as well. We'll talk about how Daikin energy efficiency compares to other ducted systems on the market. And we'll talk about whether you should go 3-phase or single-phase for your air conditioning system. We'll also go over the controllers that Daikin has, such as the Daikin Air Hub, the Daikin Airbase, Daikin Zone controllers, Daikin standard controllers, and third-party options such as air touches. We'll also talk about if ducted is even the way to go. There are always other options, such as multi-split or split systems. We'll talk about Daikin customer reviews, and we'll also go over the warranty. So it's going to be a very in-depth video and going to answer a lot of questions that you have about Daikin systems. So let's jump into it. So before we start, I'll only say this once. My name is Jesse. I'm the owner of gridless.com.au. We can help you by connecting you to the best installers and connecting you with rebates. So now I'm going to talk about the energy efficiency of units. So very handily, the government has required that all manufacturers of air conditioners who wish to submit their air conditioners for the rebates must submit all of the documentation proving the efficiency of the unit. So I'll link to another video where you can do that. But upon reviewing Daikin's energy efficiency, it seems like as long as you're going for the same kilowattage, so let's say you're going for a 16 kilowatt, it really doesn't matter if you're going for a premium, a standard, or a slimline model in terms of energy efficiency. Now, I'm just talking about in terms of energy efficiency. There are differences between units, which we'll get to, but upon reviewing Daikin's energy efficiency data, the average coefficient of performance, which measures its heating ability, and the average energy efficiency rating, which measures its cooling ability, they don't really differ at all between the premium and the standard units. So it's not really energy efficiency that's differentiating themselves. So if that's the only reason you would be looking to go to a premium unit, you don't need to go to a premium unit. Now we'll talk about the model numbers that are available. Now all of these numbers are available on the government website, but I will provide a list where you'll be able to see all of the units that are available. I'll also link to a page on our website. We'll put up a blog post where you can see exactly which units are available under the government rebate and how you can calculate the rebates that are available. So now let's talk about the energy efficiency of the units. Now, as I discussed previously, they all basically tend to be pretty much the same as each other, whether you get the inverted, the premium inverter, or the slimline ducted. But you do get pretty good energy efficiency. So you're looking at about 3.35 average energy efficiency ratio. So when I pull up Daikin's performance sheet, we'll have a look at the lower end model and the higher 16 kilowatt model. So if we're looking at the 10 kilowatt model, we have an annual energy efficiency ratio of 3.52 and an annual COP ratio, coefficient of performance ratio, of 3.545. So what those ratios mean is the higher it is for ACOP, coefficient of performance, the better your heat pump is at producing heat. And these are reverse cycle air conditioners, so they function as an air conditioner and as a heat pump. But for an annual energy efficiency ratio, that actually measures the efficiency of the cooling. How many kilowatts of energy does it take to produce the equivalent kilowatt of cooling? And so it's slightly lower for the cooling side of things, which is to be expected. So you're getting those values for the 10 kilowatt, and for a 16 kilowatt, you're actually getting almost the same values, slightly less efficient. So you're getting 3.518 for the annual energy ratio and energy efficiency ratio, and 3.811 for the annual coefficient of performance. So these are good performing units. Daikin's average annual energy efficiency ratio and ACOP were slightly higher than the averages on the list. So there you have it. Daikin produces good systems that are slightly above average in terms of performance and efficiency. Now let's talk about whether you should go 3-phase or single phase. Now I've already talked about this, and the actual energy efficiency between the two doesn't seem to really make much of a difference. But if you are looking to get a 3-phase system, one of the key benefits would be that it is a significantly quieter system. If you want to go more in depth, please check out my Mitsubishi video where I talk about the difference between single phase and 3-phase. So for rebate amounts, I actually recommend you go ahead and look at our other video to figure out how to calculate the exact number of rebates. The price of rebates is always changing and there's a lot of different options. But just to give you an idea, for a 10 kilowatt system that's replacing ducted gas, you're looking at about $4,000. And for a 16 kilowatt system, you're looking at about $5,400 at the moment with the current prices. So noise. Everyone knows that air conditioners can make a lot of noise. So if you're looking for the least noisy solution, I recommend the premium Daikin system, followed by the standard, followed by the slimline. So when should you go underfloor versus getting your air conditioner installed in the ceiling? It really depends on what you prefer. If you prefer to maximize the utility of the air conditioning side of the system, then you should get your system installed in the ceiling. The reason being, cool air sinks, and most air conditioning systems that you've ever seen are in the ceiling. If you prefer to maximize the heating element, then get them installed under the floor. That makes sense because a lot of the ducted gas systems we are replacing are under the floor. But it's up to you, and it'll depend on your home and what is even possible to install there. If you don't have any space in your roof, then you don't really have a choice, or vice versa. All right, now in terms of controllers, there are a lot of different options that Daikin offers. So I'll pull up a photo of a Daikin Air Hub. It looks like an Air Touch if you've heard of that. It's basically an iPad where you can control the zoning of your systems. It comes with zoning capabilities, and it also comes with the ability to have on-off zones or linear zones. And what that means is an on-off zone is basically where the zone either gets heating and cooling or it doesn't. But you can also have linear zones where you control the temperature of those zones. Similar to an Air Touch with temperature sensors, you will have to buy a temperature sensor. It is about $180 per temperature sensor, and you'll have to get one of those for each zone that you want. So you can have a Daikin Air Hub, you can have that with linear zones, or you can have that with just Boolean on-off zones. And there's a little bit of a price difference between the two, especially since you'll have to buy temperature sensors for the linear zones. If you're just looking at getting 5 temperature sensors, that's $180 times 5 plus install costs. So you're looking at well above $1,000 if you want that feature. A lot of people do. Now we'll talk about the Daikin app. If you do get a Daikin Air Hub, you will also be able to get to use the app, which is called Daikin Airbase. This is what it looks like. It allows you to control the zones and do anything that you might want to do with your air conditioner. You can go home on Friday at 4 p.m, turn on the AC and have a couple of beers or whatever you want to do. Now we have the Daikin Zone Controller. It's similar to the Daikin Air Hub in terms of functionality, but with less bells and whistles, and it doesn't come with any sort of app. Then we have a Daikin Standard Controller. There's no zoning here, so if you don't want zoning for your home, then go with the Standard Controller. And the third party option that I'll recommend as well is an Air Touch, very similar to the Daikin Air Hub in terms of how it operates. Might come out as slightly cheaper, but both are really good options. So is ducted the way to go? Maybe, but not necessarily. If you're looking for the cheapest possible option both to install and to run in your home, then the best option will be to get a multi-split system. Check out this video where I talk about the benefits of getting a multi-split system versus getting a ducted system. So in terms of pricing, we'll talk about Daikin's standard inverter system. So for Daikin's standard inverter system, you're looking at about $3,500 for a 10 kilowatt system, excluding GST, or going all the way up to $5,500 for a 20 kilowatt system, excluding GST. Now that's for single phase. For 3-phase, you're looking to add about $1,000 extra for those units. For the Daikin Slimline, it's between the Daikin Standard and the Daikin Premium in price. You're looking to add about $500 extra for those systems. And for a Daikin Premium system, you're looking to add about $700 extra for those systems. Now finally, Daikin has a really, really strong brand name across installers, but its reputation online, if you look up reviews, are not super good. I would say that's because with air conditioners, you look up any brand, they're very badly reviewed because people only really go on there to complain. Air conditioners are one of those things where you get it once and you don't think about it for 10 years unless it breaks, and then you get really, really angry and then you write a negative review. So that's how I would explain that. It does have a really good reputation. We talk to a lot of installers. A lot of them like Daikin, and it's one of the highest priced systems at the market, and that is for a reason. In terms of warranty, you get 5 years for the Dakin, and your installer will offer you 5 to 10 years in terms of labor warranty. So now let's go over the benefits of each system. So I recommend the Premium if you're looking for a quiet system that has really good performance. As we've seen, the performance of the actual efficiencies of all the units is slightly less, but Daikin seems to think that its efficiency of the Premium is better, so maybe there is something to that. So which one should you choose? I think you should choose the Premium Daikin system if you're looking for the highest efficiency unit with the lowest noise profile possible. We've already seen that the energy efficiency of the units is basically the same, but Daikin seems to think for the Premium it is a little bit better, so I'd recommend going there if you want the higher efficiency and the lower noise. So the inverter, the standard inverter, is just a good system, and it's also the cheapest system to get. And the Slimline is really good for when you have not a lot of space for installation, but I wouldn't really recommend that one. I would go for the standard or the Premium if you can. Also, the Slimline only goes up to 14 kilowatts. Guys, thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you have another video that you think would be a good idea for me to make, I'd love to. Please leave a comment below.